they did their like curriculum around what the kids needed, and if they were progressing a little bit higher, they're like, oh, here's more work. Or if they need a little bit more help, the teacher is willing like to focus on them. So they definitely focus on students more as people.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
At this point in my life, like I definitely appreciate like the foundation they kind of set for me. Kingsley has very high standards, I think, for their students. And I think that set a pretty good foundation for like later education. And like I study human kinetics and psychology now. And it's just like understanding how much like a foundation like teachers make when you're like a kid is so phenomenal. And I think they really set a good standard for how I should like go for school and like do things in school. And I think that was a big thing for me. So standards and a good solid foundation of how to apply my knowledge in school. That's what I was trying to say. So funny, I'm different from most students who went there because I went there and then I volunteered there for 7 years. So literally from like 7 to 18 I was there. I think like how they treat their students as individuals, like I definitely benefited that as a student and just as a volunteer as well. Like I could see that they did their like curriculum around what the kids needed, and if they were progressing a little bit higher, they're like, oh, here's more work. Or if they need a little bit more help, the teacher is willing like to focus on them. So they definitely focus on students more as people and rather than just a student they have to pass. This one I wrote down because I definitely think these three words complement it very well. They're caring, optimistic, and intuitive. It's very reflective of their staff and the principal, Louisa Williams. I think they reflect that very well, and the staff is the heart of the school, in my opinion. I think like the respect that they're taught for each other, because like I said, Kingsley has standards for their students, and I think that gives this idea of respect for themselves, but also others. And like I said, they treat everyone like individuals, and that like the teachers set this role model for the students to follow. And I think they do that in a very good way. They treat each other like individuals, they respect each other. And I think that's great from like a young age to show we're all individuals and we should be respected just as any other. I think that's something that really connects people, and just how they respect each other and just care for each other. I think one is like just creating like good people, not just students, like give them ideas of respect and value for others. And I think is like teaching them at an individual level and having respect for themselves, and like helping the students progress, and just helping them like continue on, and not just like, oh, here's this moment where I'm going to teach you this one thing, you'll forget it next week, but you know it right now. I think they're really setting something for the students to progress on and go off of and continue with. Like they're giving them knowledge and a foundation. Like I'll continue saying that. For me, so I originally came in at grade 2, so I didn't come in from kindergarten and go off of that. I came in grade 2, and something how much work the students actually have to do, which students might not like, but they will be appreciative later. The students have a lot of work to do and they have to work hard. And I think that's something that's really surprising, like not in a bad way, but there's a lot of work to get done, and the students will benefit more than anyone will think they will. Well, they shaped me in the ways that I think like how to respect people and how to value what people have done in my life. And so like they always taught respect was a big thing, and like caring for others was a big thing at Kingsley. And I think that's what really made me want to come back and volunteer, because like I wanted to give back to them to say thank you for like, oh, showing me these standards, showing me the respect that I should have for not just others, but myself. Like I wasn't the smartest kid in the class, but I never felt like, oh, I was going to be behind everyone. They gave me standards to set for myself and respect for myself that I think was really good. I think it set standards for myself to respect myself and set a foundation for how I would progress in school. That's kind of why I wanted to go back, because I wanted to give back in that way and like show them how much I valued that ideas that they gave me. Like I said, I was there for many, many years, so I actually saw them change. They were a lot smaller when I was a student. I graduated with a class of 4, 1 boy, 3 girls. That's something that surprises everyone. 2 truths and a lie, I always win because of that. Sorry, very off topic. But they were very small, and you were kind of forced into these friendships. And I think that's one way like my experience could have been a little bit better. And like they did value school more than like, oh, just experience when I was there. But I think as time has moved forward, they've really dealt with things. Like I said, Kingsley is very intuitive. And I think that really has to do with their staff. And Louisa Williams is now the principal. And I think she's very intuitive of how the students are feeling and what needs to be changed and what needs to be altered. So things that I thought could have been better are better. Like they have changed. They are very intuitive with the times. So I think I wouldn't change anything because it's already been changed. And I think they're always changing every year. And they're very intuitive with what their students really need and what the community needs. What has changed really, how intuitive they are with the times and how they've changed. Because like the times have really shifted since 2012. A lot of technology has been given. Like I remember the year after I left, they got their first smart board, and I was like, why didn't we have that? And then I realized it didn't exist. They got all new computers, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. So it's just like, from my perspective, it's just like they've become way more intuitive with the times, and they've been more involved, I think, with how the students are progressing and learning, because students are very different from my age group. Like they're Gen Alpha now. And I'm just like, that's so weird. So it's just like they're very intuitive with what these new students need, and that's how they've kind of changed. And I think that's how my perspective has like evolved, of how more intuitive they are of like looking at that at this time, at this point in my life. Well, first, it sets a foundation for your child's future, in my opinion. Um, your child will be worth more than just a student to these teachers. They will truly treat like the students like family, and they will show care and admiration for them every step of the way. And lastly, it's a really great school to be at, and there's so much effort that's put into from these teachers, and they always try and get the students involved in any little thing. Like they have fun fairs, they take the kids out, and it's just so interactive and so amazing. And it's very small, but it's close knit, and you can feel the care that everyone has for each other. What are you looking for your child type of thing? If you want your child to be more on this individual level, you want your child will thrive more in smaller environment, this is a great place to be. And to be completely honest, if your child thrives a little bit more in bigger environments, Kingsley might not be the best one because it is smaller, but they care so much about their students. And that's kind of like, what does your child need? Does your child need like teachers who are there for them, who care, who are sometimes in their face a little bit because the standards are quite high? If your child needs that, Kingsley is amazing for them. They will thrive greatly, and they will flourish 100%. If that is not what they need and you think they need something different, yes, look somewhere else. But Kingsley's still there if you change your mind. listen and respect your teachers. Your teachers are not trying to be mean to you. I was scared of this. Teachers are not scary. They might be hard on you, but you're going to be thanking them later. Talk to your teachers if you have a problem with anything. They're willing to listen 110%. And once you're done with it all, if you look back and you value what they did and how much they did for you, volunteer. They love volunteers. You'll get someone on your resume.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.